Good afternoon, everybody. Papa Gene here, talking to you today from the back porch. It's kind of an unplanned periscope, but I thought, hey, Kat, good to see you, honey. Hey, I ought to come inside and we can talk personally. Hey, Terry. Hey, listen, I posted on Facebook today that about saying that I hated somebody one time to my mother. And how my mother quickly corrected me. Well, I'm sure you've read the story by now, and it's just tales in the life of a one-time little boy and who was learning. And I got to thinking about this anger thing, and is there anything really that I'm angry about these days? And yes, there is. In fact, there's a whole list of things I'm angry about. And trust me, this has nothing to do with Trump or Clinton or Sanders or Cruz or anybody else. Hey, Gene, glad you could join us. Today I'm talking about things that make me angry, and it has nothing to do with politics. So if you're just joining, I'm so glad you could take a few minutes of the evening to spend some time with me. I'll get your greeting out of the way. Throw me lots of hearts if you love me, because what's not to love? I mean, really, look at this mug. Hey, so let's have some fun here, but I want to talk to you about some things. Really, let's talk about food. Anybody like food? I love food, man. We just grilled steaks a little while ago, so I'm still on the back porch. The cat, I see that taunt face. Thank you very much. I love you so much. Hey, listen, you remember when we were shopping just, I don't know, in the last 10 years, let's say, and suddenly everything's labeled low fat, low fat. And I was telling Kathleen today, I remember one time buying a little roll of Grandma's cookies at a convenience store and flipping it over and reading the ingredients. And oh my God, there was lard in those cookies. Well, guess what? Grandma cooked with lard all the time because there was no such thing as Crisco just yet. And and we came to believe that anything that said low fat must be healthy for us. And anything that said no fat must really be good for us. In order to make food palatable to where we would buy more of it, because that's the food producers' end goal, is us to spend more of our hard-earned money on their junk. I mean food. The only way to compensate for the absence of lard, which is healthy animal fat, it came out of a living creature, was to jack up other ingredients to give it the same kind of texture and or appeal or taste that lard used to give it, and mostly they used sugars and sometimes artificial sugars. Well, so we all know about low fat, and what a big lie that was. They just gave us more sugar and our waistlines grew, and we didn't lose a doggone pound eating low fat. We just thought, oh, that's good for me, so I'll buy those low-fat Oreos because they must be healthy. And I'll buy this cereal that didn't need to be labeled low-fat, but it was. It must be good for me. Well, today there's a whole new bunch of products and labels out there that have got me so angry I could just spit. Excuse me, almost did. I could almost spit. Do you hear me? There you go, Snack Wells. 100 calories, but just pure sugar. Why don't you just go in the kitchen and get you a teaspoon, reach in the sugar bowl, and just shove one in. But I'm angry. I'm angry because right now, we, the average, ordinary, intelligent, hard-working, retired or nearly retired people out there, are being pulled in multiple directions with all the new catchphrase labels on food. Is it GMO? What does GMO mean? What does non-GMO mean? What does free range mean? What does grass-fed mean? Is one egg really better for me than another egg? Statistically, no. That egg came from a living being and it had the potential to be another living being. It's a perfectly healthy egg just like it is. Doesn't make any difference if it came from a caged chicken or a free-range chicken. And let me tell you something about free-range chickens. They'll lay an egg anywhere. They'll lay it out on the ground in the middle of a poop pile. They sure will. So there's no guarantee that what you're getting is actually healthier for you. But the popular people, the talk shows, the doctors, the bloggers, they're all saying, well, I only eat lean, grass-fed beef. Well, honey, I'm going to tell you something about cattle. If you've never raised cattle before, I have, and they all eat grass all day long. They're cud chewers. They eat grass, they chew it up, swallow it, regurgitate it, chew it again, swallow it, and they all eat grass, and they can't do that with corn. And all of our cows are grass-fed. That's why we feed them hay throughout the winter, because it's grass and there's no grass growing out in the pasture. So all of our cattle and all of our sheep and so many of our other animals are basically natural eaters anyway. But oh my gosh, this cow was prepared for the supermarket by being grass-fed for a few years and then taken and fattened up over a few months, maybe 3-4 months, by being fed a diet that also included molasses and corn and any other cheap grain that was available at that time. Might have been oats in there, might have been soybeans in there, but they start feeding them sugar and corn. Let's see, corn, that's a lot of starch. Sugar, pure sugar. That's all molasses is. It's just squeezed sugar. So, and these cows are not in a healthy state right before, not the perfect healthy state, but we want meat that's got fat in it because that's what gives it the flavor, right? And the only way to get that fat on them when you take them off of pasture land is to jack up their sugar and give them a lot of corn. You know, it's just the way cattle, beef, for the market is prepared these days. But that cow lived his or her whole life eating nothing but grass. So all cattle is grass-fed. But the blogger says, oh no, you mustn't eat a cow that's ever had an antibiotic or one that's had a steroid. There may be some truth to that, but I'm going to tell you, once they reach the slaughterhouse, if you think, and this is what I'm mad about, I'm getting to it, and I promise I'll shut up as soon as I'm done with this rant, because that's what this is. We believe, we've been lulled kind of to sleep by believing that the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and the Food and Drug Administration have our backs. Now, when you go to your supermarket or when you get the flyer in the mail every week that says so-and-so grocery store has USDA choice beef on sale today, whether it's steak or whatever it is, you see that USDA label, and we've come to think, oh, well, if it's USDA choice, it was inspected. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. An inspector goes by that beef processing plant probably once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe once a month. Goes through, does a health inspection, make sure that their drains are running and that the insect control and the tables are clean and, you know, and they're following health and OSHA standards and everything else. But the meat that you pick up and put in your shopping cart probably never saw a USDA inspector. It's a sales technique. It may be USDA choice beef, but it's a label. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was ever inspected or seen by an inspector or that an inspector was ever even in the same room with it. So we want to believe that because it says USDA choice or because something says certified organic, we want to believe that a genuine U.S. Department of Agriculture inspector went out to that farm every day and made sure that those apples were growing on trees that hadn't had any pesticide or fertilizer on them. And wouldn't the sun come out just now? Isn't that beautiful? Not me, but the sun is. And so that Jerry is 100% right. That's why we shoot deer. And guess what deer eat? They eat a lot of leaves. They stand on their hind feet, strip fresh tender leaves. They eat grass, and it's about as healthy. And venison is always lean. Did you know that? It always is. So all I'm saying is don't be duped and jump on a bandwagon that says I've got to spend twice as much for a package of beef that says grass-fed. Because really, when it gets to our house or my grill, you don't have any way of knowing for sure that, number one, it's healthier, or number two, that it was ever inspected, or number three, that it was really and truly grass-fed right to the end. We have no personal way of knowing that, but we're spending twice as much. Hey, baby, I'm going to kiss you when I get back inside. This is between me and you. Don't let them see all this stuff. So, anyway, you get the message. The bloggers, the talking heads on TV, they're throwing out these terms, GMO, cage-free, free-range, grass-fed. I'm telling you, don't spend 3 times the money on your food. If it came from an animal, eat it. It's probably going to be okay for you. If it was grown in the earth, it's going to be good for you. If you picked it out of your garden, it's probably going to be good for you. So that's what I'm angry about. I'm not angry at the people that produce the food. I'm angry at us because we have believed that low fat was good, and now we're getting dragged down this highway of GMO, free range, cage free. I'm going to tell you what, chicken's the stupidest animal on earth. He doesn't know he's in a cage. You know what? His destination is a skillet, and that's just the way it works. Now, should we be mean to chickens just because they're going to end up on the table? No. But what we need to do is eat good food, eat whole food, eat natural food when we can, take a vitamin if we feel. I should have known I was going to get an airplane. Hey, you get the message. You're smart people. I believe in you. We're getting healthy and going to stay healthy together because one of us is going to live to be the oldest person in this group someday. Oh, I want to be that person, but I don't know if I want to live through that because then I'd lose all of y'all. So I hope you beat me, every one of you. I hope you beat me. I hope you outlive me. And you know, let's have a good life. Until next time, this is Papa Gene. Hey, be good to yourself. Be good to others. At least I can sit outside. Thank you, honey. I'll see you in a minute. This is it. Until next time, Papa Gene out.